Is Our Gracious Majesty the Queen actually frightened of Harry and Meghan? That is one of the leading questions being bandied around here in the United Kingdom. And what is, more importantly, the reason why? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Thank you for joining me today. We're at a wonderful spot today. This behind me is what's called a mews. Now, for those historians who like these little facts, you may like to know this story. For those that don't, yes, just speed along. I know a lot of people tell me off, by the way, and say, oh, we're not interested, just get to the story, Neil. I like to share things with you. There's some beautiful things and places around London. And like me, I like to poke it around and thinking, oh, what went on here? So, if you don't enjoy them, just let me know in the comments. If you do, let me know, because when you come here, you'll say, you know what, Neil told us about this. We know about this place. As I say, this is a mews, and this was normally attached to those grand houses that you see, all the white buildings, with the big portals at the side and the big black doors. This really was predominantly for the groomsmen, the people that actually looked after the horse and carriage of that particular family. And the reason being is that, when they dropped them off, this was a garage effectively, so the horse went underneath the lower part and the groomsmen or the team slept above. Now, just to give you an example of how things move on, that was around about 130 years ago, possibly, maybe a little bit less. Now, these mewses can go for about 7 million. They're not very big, but they're very desired because of their locations. So if you can't afford the big house, perhaps you can afford the smaller house. Me? No, I can't afford either. But we can all dream, can't we? Back as ever, though, to your breaking royal story of the day. Now, this really centres all about the removal of the titles for Harry and Meghan, a story that just keeps rolling and rolling. But as I've said many times here on the show, has a massive groundswell because people really want to know what's happening. Now, to give you a bit of background, a lot of people say to me, truly, who can do it? Could the Queen do it? Well, she can put forward a patent letter, as they call it, suggesting to her government this is what she'd like to do. I'll come back to that in a moment. The real people that can actually make this, activated are none other than the present government, led by the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister. Now, to just give you a bit of background, I think Boris has had rather a lot on his plate of late. Partygate, and now, of course, the escalating Russia-Ukraine problem. So, this isn't paramount on the list of things that he needs to get done. But there's a bigger situation really, because over here in the United Kingdom, a recent poll suggested that the people that they would like removed are the former royal known as Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, to me, it seems a little bit petulant, really, because they've decided they don't want to be here. They live thousands of miles away, so why do they need it, And I think it would make sense for them. Then they're totally free, if you think. Now, what's interesting here is the people they would like to be in the line of succession, and this is because, the counsellor of the Queen. This is in case she's incapacitated and can't do the government boxes, that sort of thing. She's a very busy lady, whatever people think, doesn't want to let go of things, as we know. But the people they'd like to see Harry and Meghan and Prince Andrew replaced by are none other than the Princess Royal, Her Royal Highness, Princess Anne. Great vote from me, hard-working, would do the job wonderfully. She was on the line of succession previously, but of course, as William and Harry were born, then that goes down the pecking order and they're removed. The other person is the Earl of Wessex, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, and again, a very popular choice over here. So what are the reasons why the Queen and the government are really stalling? Well, as I say, the government are rather busy with government situations. And more importantly, it has been said to me by very good sources at Windsor Castle that, given Our Gracious Majesty the Queen is battling COVID right now, does she need another battle? And some are saying also that she doesn't really want to take on or get any more bad feeling from Harry and Meghan. That interview and the subsequent attacks in the media have truly hurt and upset Our Gracious Majesty the Queen, as one could only imagine. So they're right now in a bit of a win-win situation. However, moving forward, as Her Majesty the Queen has said, in the fullness of time, I truly believe that Prince Charles, His Royal Highness, who will become, of course, a King Charles, will swiftly see to that situation. But for now, everything seems to be a stalemate. It could all change, of course, at the drop of a hat or indeed a crown. And as ever, as I often say here on the show, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the heart of London.